Hi, welcome to the Father and Son Watch Show. I'm John, and my son Elliot is still on his summer hiatus. He's taking a little break from the show, but he should be back sometime soon in a new episode. Today, I just wanted to talk about a watch that I received from a friend, and I'm going to use it for review. It's a Zezame watch. It's a Zezame Nighthawk chronograph. I'm typically not a chronograph guy. I really like dive watches and dive style watches like my Seiko 5 SKX that I'm wearing today, or a dress watch. I work in an office, so I wear a lot of dress watches. When I go to church, I wear a dress watch. So a chronograph is not typically my style. I do, however, like the look of chronographs, and there's a lot recently in the last few years that I have observed coming out from micro brands like Studio Underdog that I really like the way they look. So when a friend gave this to me to review, I was kind of intrigued at first. I thought, man, this just feels solid. It feels pretty heavy, and so I'm not sure how I'm gonna like that. I'm not sure how comfortable it'll be. It's a little thicker than I'm used to, but it did look very well made, and so I was very curious on this chronograph. So I'm going to check it out, and let's see what you guys think about this chronograph. Okay, here it is on my wrist. I have a 7-inch wrist, and every time I put it on, I have the same sensation as the very first time. Is it feels lighter than I expected. It's actually must be a credit to the bracelet. It's very, very comfortable. There is the dial there. It's got a nice texture on the dial. When I go over some of the specs, I'll have some pictures that'll show you more of a close up there. But it's got kind of those screws on the corners that look kind of nice. I like it's a gunmetal finish. I like that on the dial. And I also like the Zezame logo at the top along with the name. And it says chronograph at the 6 o'clock. Has a date function, which I need to set. That's a day off because today's July the 4th in the USA. Happy birthday, America. And then it's got a really nice crown there with like a kind of like a gnarled look. I'm not quite sure how to describe that, but it just really looks pretty fancy on there to me. And the mineral crystal is domed. And this is probably the biggest dome on a watch that I have. And I really like it. At first, I kind of worried that I'd slam into a lot of things with it. And I was kind of concerned that it wasn't sapphire. It would be nice if it was sapphire. That would be one criticism I'd have of this watch, because then I wouldn't worry about it getting scratched at all. But since it's mineral, it's a little bit tougher than sapphire and more shatterproof. So it should be, pretty good to bump occasionally. But I really do like this bracelet. It's like a H style bracelet. The clasp is nice. I'll take it off here in a minute and show you. But very comfortable. I've wore this often and I really, really enjoy it. And I've had a couple people comment on it when I've been out and about, and very surprising. I did not think I would like a chronograph at all, but this one I do. Okay, and so here is the clasp. It is a milled clasp. It has a couple micro adjustments there. Not a whole lot of micro adjustments there, but just a few. But it was enough for me. And actually, it fits me really well. But if I needed to adjust it a little bit, I could do that. But yeah, very nice finish on the bracelet, nice finish on the watch. I'll go ahead and start the chronograph hand there for you. But it's a Mecaquartz. That's another thing about the watch that I like. I do not have a Mecaquartz in my collection. So it has some mechanical components in it, and it also has a battery in it, so it's quartz, but it has a pretty smooth sweep compared to a normal quartz. So that is a pretty nice function. I like the red second hand as well, or the chronograph hand, and then you can easily stop it, and then you can make it shoot back to the 12 o'clock position. So that's kind of nice. Sorry, the lighting's not that great in here. It's pretty rainy outside, kind of a weird 4th of July here. But yeah, you can just stop it and time things, or you can just kind of have it function like a second hand. and then just shoot it right back up there. It works real smooth. I really like the functions. Another thing I like about this watch is it came with an extra silicone band. To be honest with you, I have not put the silicone band on yet because the bracelet's so comfortable. And I am pretty much at heart a bracelet guy. I would say bracelet and leather are my favorite ones unless I'm swimming. But this looks very comfortable. I'm going to have to do a long-term review down the road and put this on and tell you what I think in that video. But I do like the Zezame, the Z on the hardware there. But it feels very nice, feels very comfortable. If it's any indication of how great the bracelet is, in my opinion, I'm sure I'm going to like this too. But it's nice that you have that versatility to swap that out. All right, here is the Zezame website with the watch, and it kind of goes through a lot of the details on there. On their website right now, it's $198, which I think is a fair price, you know, for a good quality watch. And I like their marketing. I like the name the Nighthawk on there. Sounds kind of cool to me. And there it talks about the movement there. It's the TM1 VK64 movement, which is made by Seiko. So it's a Seiko Mecaquartz, and I'll go to another site there that talks more about the caliber and has some more details. But there's some of the dimensions for you there, and it's for the steel, it's 316L steel, stainless steel. And then it talks about the mineral crystal, how thick the case is. Then it's also got a pull-out crown. The water resistance is not great. It's 50 meters, but, you know, for a chronograph, I'm not sure if that's real important to you or not. I would feel pretty good with just getting it wet, but I wouldn't swim with it. And the lume is pretty good. I'll do a lume shot here in a minute, but the lume is not bad at all. And then also it talks about, you know, the strap material. It's made of the same steel, and then the extra strap is the silicone. Gives you the dimensions of the strap there, and it looks like it's an 18 millimeter strap if you want to swap that out. Might be hard to swap out with the way the ends are on there, but there's what it looks like with that silicone strap on there. It looks pretty nice. And there's a good shot of what it looks like on someone's wrist. And there's the bracelet again, and it talks about the fold over clasp, which I really liked, and it was pretty comfortable and kind of a smaller clasp, so it wasn't real obtrusive. Here's some options that you would have with this watch: a different collar, a lighter. The one I have is Gunsmoke, but a lighter one with a blue strap, which is really nice. And there's a close-up detail of the dial. I really like that kind of wood, or, you know, kind of a wood texture there. It talks about it here. But that is really nice. And then it talks about the sub-dials, the minute, the hours. Another close-up of the watch. And yeah, I think it would fit a lot of people's wrists out there. It mentions that. Mine's at 7-inch wrist, and it fits great. But I could see it fitting on a bigger person's wrist pretty well. Or, you know, you'd probably have to be careful if you had a smaller wrist, but, you know, maybe a 6.5-inch wrist could pull that off. And there it talks about the movement. And then it says it's pretty durable. And it's a high accuracy. It's a Mecaquartz. And it talks about that. And then let's go to the site that talks about the caliber. And that's what it looks like without the case back on there. And the case back, I'll have to show it when I do the lume shot. It looks like it's a screw-in case back. It's got some little screws on the back there. That's probably why the water resistance isn't that high. But there it talks about it's made by Seiko Instruments. This website is Caliber Corner, which I've used before. I really like it. It will have the accuracy here in a minute. There is the battery life, which is 3 years. And I'm starting to like to say that it's got a power reserve of 3 years, because the automatic watches are always talking about the power reserve. But this has a 3-year power reserve, so I like that. And I thought I did see the accuracy in there somewhere. Maybe I missed it. Maybe you caught it in there. But what I saw earlier was plus or minus 20 seconds. Maybe it'll have it down here. There's some schematics of it. Let's see here. There we go. There's the accuracy rating. It's plus or minus 20 seconds a month at normal temperatures, but it has been pretty accurate for me. So there's that. Let's do it. And there's the back of the watch. You can see those screws on the back there. So you just have to take those off to change the battery after 3 years. I'll get it loomed up with my ultraviolet light here. And it's pretty nice loom. It doesn't seem like it lasts a real long time, but of the watches I have a couple Seikos that, of course, kill it with loom, but this loom's pretty good there. So, if you want to try a chronograph, or you're looking for a reasonable watch to give somebody as a chronograph, it'd be a pretty good option for you. I know Elliot, he likes it. He's not a huge fan of the shape, I think, but he does like the way the dial looks. But this would be a good option for someone wanting to get into the world of chronographs. And as you can see, the loom's lasting pretty long here. So I know through the night when I've gotten up after I've worn it all day and got it kind of charged, it seems like it lasts about half the night. But for a kind of like a, I think it's made in Hong Kong. I'll have to look at that in a minute and let you know at the end of the video. But for a watch that's made overseas and, more on the cheaper end of things, the loom is pretty good. So I just checked their website and they are based in Hong Kong. At least that's the address that they had on there. But they also have a lot of information about the watch company, and they also kind of explain where their name came from. So I'm going to show you that in a second. But they also have a 2-year warranty, which I thought was pretty nice. You don't see that every day with a watch that's made in Hong Kong. So that's a nice feature too. And let me show you about the name meeting, which I thought was kind of cool how they explained that. All right, on their webpage, it tells their story, tells how they got their brand name, and they put a couple different syllables together. The ZE is for zenith or zeal. The ZA is zest or zany, talking about the creativity and uniqueness. And me means metal, which I assume to mean how tough you are and confidence, like they said there, or me. And then they have their comprehensive meaning means climbing to the peak with passion and defining oneself with courage, conveying the brand's spirit of precision, innovation, individuality. So that's kind of cool how they break that down. Talk about their story a little bit. They've got some slogans for you there. So they did a pretty good job explaining the concept of the watch. All right, there you go. That's my review of the Zezame Nighthawk Chronograph. I would give it definitely a thumbs up. Very comfortable, nice looks. Nice to have a Mecaquartz here. It's like the hybrid of an automatic watch with a quartz watch. Seems very dependable. Got a Seiko chronograph movement inside with a Mecaquartz there. Very nice finishing, nice domed crystal, super comfortable on the wrist. So I would give it a big thumbs up. I'll have to double check with Elliot, but last time I mentioned it to him, he didn't seem like he was a big fan, and you know how he feels about watches that are made in China. So he might feel the same way about this one. But anyway, thanks for watching. Remember, if you like this video, to like and share it and subscribe. Hopefully, my partner in crime or my partner in watches, Elliot, will be joining me soon. So remember, God bless and keep on ticking. Have a great 4th of July in America and have a great day everywhere else. Take care.